After another Cold War with my childhood sweetheart, I didn't go to coax him. My friends came to persuade me. He's just being awkward, saying one thing and meaning another. A stubborn person needs a patient lover, but I was really tired and didn't want to lower my head anymore. These years of Cold Wars, arguments, and evasions had made me so exhausted that I couldn't tell whether he was really stubborn or just didn't love me anymore. So when he threatened me with a breakup again, I said, "Then let's break up." Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. Hearing me say this, Liam was obviously stunned, but I just lowered my head and continued speaking. "I'll pack my things and take them away as soon as possible. As for the other things we bought together, forget it. I'll leave them to you. And as for the clothes you left at my place, if possible, please come and pick them up as soon as you can. Or I can call a courier and send them to you." In the quiet room, only my voice could be heard. Liam's expression changed from gloomy to expressionless. He suddenly interrupted me. "What about pudding? How do we divide it?" Pudding was a stray cat I picked up at the entrance of the community. I adopted it and covered all its expenses, but it wasn't close to me. 8 out of 10 times, it wouldn't let me hold it. It even scratched my wrist a few times. On the contrary, Liam, who usually treated it coldly and never cared about it, was the one it would actively rub against and meow affectionately to. "I'll leave it to you too." I let out a breath, even if I liked it very much. Such differential treatment was disheartening. "Nicola," Liam suppressed his anger, "you were the one who missed Valentine's Day, and now you're throwing a tantrum." But didn't Liam mention breaking up first? Maybe he forgot. After all, he always had the words "break up" on his lips. Since this threat worked on me, it had become his common tool. I said it was because the flight was delayed that I came back late. Liam just sneered. "Excuses? Why couldn't you buy an earlier flight?" During this business trip, I worked continuously for more than 10 hours to compress my work and then caught the plane back that day. But Liam wouldn't listen. He would find 100 more reasons to blame me, so I fell silent, feeling a deep sense of powerlessness in my heart. Liam walked a few steps towards the door, then turned back with a cold tone. "I won't come back until you realize your mistake," I said. "We've already broken up." But Liam seemed not to have heard me. He tilted his head and continued on his own. "I'll give you another chance. I'm angry not just because you were late." This was the first time he had said something like this. Usually, he would just slam the door and leave, although his tone was still stiff. "Think it over and then come to apologize to me." I sat on the sofa for a long time. Then, dragging my tired body, I cleaned up the living room. I also picked up the gift from the trash can. This was a gift I carefully selected after visiting more than a dozen stores abroad, but the owner of the gift didn't even take a look at it and didn't cherish it, so it was as worthless as the mess on the floor. After cleaning the living room, I went to the room to pack my things. This was Liam's house. Everywhere in the house was filled with traces of my existence, the water cups, blankets, and couples tableware we chose together. I only packed a few clothes and then carried the suitcase and walked out. When I reached the door, a yellow figure suddenly rushed out, as if trying to stop me. Pudding lay down in the middle of the living room and didn't move. Its round eyes stared at me intently. When I first picked it up, it was dirty and thin, as if suffering from malnutrition. Now its fur was fluffy and shiny, looking very adorable. I squatted down. This time, Pudding was unusually obedient and didn't resist my touch. I stroked its head. "I'm leaving. He'll take care of you from now on." Pudding should like this result. After all, it had always liked Liam, unlike me, who was never close to it. I gently removed Pudding's claws that were tightly gripping my trouser leg, ignoring its noisy meowing. I carried the suitcase and left. When I reached the entrance of the community, I received a phone call. It was from a friend of Liam's. His tone was accusatory. "Nicola, why did you quarrel with Liam again? He's drinking now, and no one can stop him. Hurry up and come get him back. He's going to smash up my store." I felt rather helpless. "I don't know why he's angry." He came in and directly overturned the table. There was a pause on the other end of the phone, and the tone was surprised. "You don't know. He found out that you had dinner with another man, and that man even sent you back to the hotel." "Liam is jealous," I explained. "That was a client. We had dinner just for business. He sent me because it was raining that day, and I couldn't get a taxi, so this was the real reason why Liam was angry." Liam had always been like this. He would get jealous and angry if I talked to others a little more. I knew it was because he loved me and had a possessive desire for me, but now, All I felt in my heart was fatigue. I can explain everything. I just don't understand. I said softly to the person on the phone. Why would he rather tell you guys everything than ask me? I had once asked my best friend what she would do when she quarreled with her boyfriend. My best friend thought for a while and said, it depends on who's right and who's wrong. After both of us calmed down, we just talk it out, right? But Liam wouldn't. He would keep everything to himself. I never knew why he was angry. Every time, I had to guess or ask his friends. I couldn't figure out why he didn't want to communicate with me, nor could I understand why he would rather confide in his friends than come to me to get things clear. Later, I learned a word: stubborn. Liam was the most stubborn person I had ever met. He was sensitive and moody. He would always avoid and retreat, testing me with cold words. Everyone said that stubborn people were not suitable for relationships. Only I didn't believe it and rushed in with full enthusiasm, but now I was confused. If only one person was always taking the initiative in a relationship, could this relationship really last? I moved back to my own home, but even if we didn't see each other in our daily lives, we still had to meet at work. We worked in the same research institute, but in different departments. When handing over work, I saw a young girl beside Liam. The girl had a pure temperament. She was a newly recruited graduate student this year named Sarah. When Liam saw me, his eyes lit up instantly, but I didn't look at him and just calmly handed over the work. Then Liam's gentle expression turned cold immediately. He looked straight ahead and walked past me without saying a word. I heard Sarah curiously gossiping. Why does teacher Liam have such a big scar on his arm? I was startled when I saw it for the first time. Someone answered, you're new here, so you don't know. Our Liam and Nicola from the next department are a couple, while known as a perfect match. That scar was from an earthquake drill. Liam carried Lynn and got injured. I heard that because of this scar, he couldn't become a pilot, so he switched to another major and then came to our research institute. Sarah's eyes were full of envy. So touching. They're really a perfect match. Everyone's gossipy hearts were instantly ignited. From Liam giving up his dream for me to him applying for the research institute for me, everyone was praising Liam's deep love and expressing their envy for me. These days Cold War had also become a flirting method between lovers. I bet this time it's still Nicola who will apologize first. Last time she treated us to milk tea. What will it be this time? I want to eat cupcakes. I don't agree. You're cheating. Every time it's Nicola who bows her head first. If you bet that Liam will apologize, then I'll bet with you. I stood in the corner, silently listening to everyone's laughter, but this time, they were all wrong. Liam and I have broken up. Please don't mention it again in the future. My appearance ended this conversation. Everyone looked at each other in dismay and then quickly dispersed. In fact, our relationship wasn't as well matched as others thought. Repeated cold wars and arguments had left scars on our relationship, making it precarious without us even realizing it. I really wanted to know that if I stopped patching it up and no longer tried to save it, would Liam notice and try to save it? This time, would he come and apologize to me first? A whole month passed. Liam and I were like strangers, as if competing. Neither of us was willing to give in first, at the same time. Sarah and Liam were getting closer and closer. They ate together and got off work together. Even during the weekend team building, Liam chose to be in the same group as her for mountain climbing. On the contrary, Sarah seemed a bit hesitant. Is this not so good? What about Nicola? Liam's tone was cold. Didn't we break up? Why should I care about her? He didn't lower his voice, and everyone around could hear him. And she likes having dinner with other men so much. She must be the same when climbing mountains. Instantly, the way people around me looked at me changed. Some people started whispering, she doesn't cherish such a good boyfriend like Liam and even flirts with others. No wonder Liam broke up with her. When they saw me approaching, those who were gossiping dispersed. On the way up the mountain, Sarah sprained her ankle. Without hesitation, Liam squatted down and carried her on his back. Sarah said guiltily, I'm sorry, I made us the last ones. Liam comforted her gently. It's okay, this is just for relaxation. The ranking doesn't matter. I was a bit further behind them. The number of people who came this time was odd, and everyone had already chosen their partners. I didn't want to break up others, so I simply formed a group by myself. I had always been physically weak, and now I was already a bit out of breath. The two people in front had a harmonious atmosphere. I even heard someone praising Liam for being responsible. Liam was indeed a responsible person. He was polite and gentlemanly to everyone except me. In college, he was the class monitor. During an earthquake drill, everyone rushed out, only he rushed towards me and carried me on his back because I had sprained my ankle a few days ago. This incident was talked about throughout the school, and everyone envied my good luck, but at that time, Liam was actually scolding me. "Do you know you're so troublesome if your foot is sprained? Can't you just not come to class? This time you made our class the last again. Nicola, you really can't do anything right." In fact, I wanted to say that I had asked the teacher for leave and didn't need to participate in the drill, but hearing his harsh words, I didn't want to talk back and make him angry. Later, his friend told me that Liam was saying one thing and meaning another. He was worried about my foot injury and wanted me to rest at home. And he even specifically found an old Chinese doctor to prescribe medicine for me. He earned 100 yuan a day from his part-time job, but one of your plasters cost 80 yuan. He didn't hesitate and bought enough for half a month. My best friend also envied me. He's just being awkward, but he really loves you. This Sundara character is so cute. But now, seeing the way Liam comforted Sarah, I realized that he wasn't incapable of being gentle. He just wasn't gentle with me. I could feel his love for me from what others said, but I had never felt it from his attitude. He always spoke harshly to me, showed me a cold face, scolded me for being stupid and frivolous, cut up the scarf someone else gave me, and smashed the game console a colleague lent me. I thought he was just jealous and cared too much about me, so after being pushed away and refused to communicate with me again and again, I always comforted myself and then continued to take the initiative. Be enthusiastic, and tirelessly apologize and bow my head, but enthusiasm also needs to be reciprocated. In this relationship, I wasn't invincible. I also felt wronged and sad. Stubbornness and not loving looked so similar. I was so sad that I couldn't tell whether Liam was really stubborn or didn't love me anymore. So, I stopped, withdrew from this team building, and sent a message to the leader saying that I wasn't feeling well after returning home. I sorted out Liam's things and packed up the gifts he gave me over the years. I called a courier and sent them to his home. After finishing all this, I sat on the sofa and stared blankly for a while. Then I picked up my phone and sent a text message to Liam. There were only 3 short words: "Let's break up." Last time it was just out of anger, and I was still fantasizing that he would take the initiative to reconcile with me. But this time it was for real. I really wanted to break up with him. That message didn't go through. I forgot that Liam had blocked me again. He was always like this. Once we had a Cold War, he would delete all my contact information. I pursed my lips and asked his friend to convey my message. In the past, I always complained that Liam used his friends as messengers. I never thought that I would need to do the same now. When sending a message, I accidentally clicked into his friend's moments. The latest post was a group photo with the seaside as the background. In the center of the photo were Liam and Sarah. Sarah was smiling happily with her arm on Liam's back, and Liam also looked completely relaxed. The post time was a week ago. During the Cold War between Liam and me, I stared at it for a long time and then gave it a like. Previously, Liam was busy with work. He said that traveling was an economic lie and a form of consumerism, that the places you wanted to visit were just scenery that the locals were already tired of. I accommodated him and never went traveling, but now, I suddenly wanted to go out and see the world. Perhaps I had long become someone that Liam was tired of seeing. That's why when a younger and more beautiful girl appeared, he would quarrel with me and start a Cold War. Some people say that love means being cold to others but gentle to you, but Liam was the opposite. He was gentle and encouraging to Sarah, but only cold-spoken to me. I was being insensitive and didn't notice his boredom. I applied for annual leave and booked a flight. The scenery there was beautiful, and there were also many delicious foods. During a chat, I asked an old lady if she ever got tired of living here since she was a child. The old lady smiled cheerfully. "This is home. With the hometown developing so well, I'm only proud. How could I be tired?" She said she loved here, loved her hometown. It suddenly dawned on me that everyone might look at the same scenery for a long time, but it turned out that with love, there would be no boredom. Unexpectedly, on the 3rd day, I received a call from Liam. I didn't know when he unblocked me. His tone was stiff. "Pudding's cat food is finished, and I don't know which kind to buy." I told him the brand and added, "You can use the previous method of taking a photo and identifying it with the app. There's no need to ask me." Liam avoided answering. I threw away the packaging bag. Then he asked, "What should I do if Pudding broke the cat climbing frame?" "Just buy a new one." Pudding went downstairs to play just now and got covered in mud. take it to the pet store for a bath. Liam asked a lot of questions, and I answered them one by one. Then, suddenly, neither of us knew what to say. After waiting for a while and seeing that he didn't continue, I said, "Then I'll hang up. You can search for the precautions for raising a cat on the internet. Don't ask me in the future." It was very quiet on the other side. Just before hanging up, Liam said, "Pudding misses you. Do you want to come back and see it?" I didn't quite believe this. Due to the nature of our work, Liam and I often went on business trips. Every time Liam came back, Pudding would squat at the door in advance and happily rush up to meow when it saw him, but not for me. I had to take the initiative to find it. During the business trips, I missed it very much, but Pudding still disliked me, avoiding me. It would only reluctantly let me hold it when lured with cat treats. It didn't miss me before, so why would it now? I refused. "No need. It's your cat. It's not appropriate for me to go and see it." After hanging up the phone, I let out a long breath. I didn't understand why Liam made this call. Was he really asking me questions, or did he find Pudding troublesome? Well, he had always been self-disciplined, calm, and meticulous. Taking care of a cat was too difficult and troublesome for him. Until the early morning, I was still tossing and turning. I picked up my phone and tried to send a text message. "If you find Pudding troublesome, then give it back to me." I was afraid that Liam would be impatient and treat Pudding badly. What if he really got tired of it and threw Pudding away? Then it would be better for me to raise it. Even if Pudding didn't like me, I would take responsibility and ensure its life. It was already 3 o'clock, and unexpectedly, he replied instantly, "You want Pudding. Even if you leave me, you have to take it away." Before I could reply, another message came, "What about me?" But the next second, this sentence was withdrawn. I suspected I was seeing things. After a while, Liam sent another message, "Send me your location. I'll take Pudding to find you." In the coffee shop, Liam was holding Pudding. He looked travel-worn, with faint dark circles under his eyes. I didn't expect him to come so quickly. Calculating the time, he should have booked the earliest flight right after sending the text message. As soon as Pudding saw me, it struggled desperately. After being put down, it immediately rushed to my feet and squatted there, rarely. It gave me the same treatment as Liam, meowing affectionately at me, but this time, I just opened the cat cage and didn't reach out to hold it. There were 3 or 4 scratches on my arm, and the scars wouldn't fade. My sadness was also real. After picking up Pudding, I was about to leave, but Liam stopped me. He pursed his lips. "Someone told me that the person you met on the business trip last time was just a client. I got angry with you without getting things clear, also. About the moments you liked, my friend took me to relax, and we happened to meet Sarah, so we took a group photo together." I stopped and listened quietly to Liam's words. He might have thought that I broke up with him because I misunderstood his relationship with Sarah, but actually, before Sarah appeared, our relationship was already on the verge of collapse. Liam tried several times and finally said with difficulty, "I'm sorry. It was my fault for the last quarrel." After saying this, his whole face turned red. He stuck out his neck and didn't even dare to look at me, looking very humiliated. So I asked him, "Liam, is it really that embarrassing to apologize to me?" Why was it so hard for Liam to say it? And why did he look so embarrassed? If apologizing made him feel humiliated, if lowering his head meant admitting defeat, then what about me who always chose to apologize and make up first? Liam's eyes turned red. I thought he knew I was just being angry. After that day, I've been waiting for us to make up. I didn't really want to break up. I just wanted you to coax me." He tremblingly took out a gift box from his arms. "I also prepared a gift for you, that necklace you like the most." Liam's voice was choked with sobs. "Why can you break up so easily and be so heartless? 7 years of relationship, you left so resolutely, but you only want Pudding and not me." I felt very tired and couldn't explain it clearly to Liam. He thought that me saying break up was also out of anger, just like him, but hurtful words, when said too often, would become a reality. I said, "The break up is not because of anything else, but because of your personality. You always refuse to communicate, always be stubborn, and always avoid problems." Liam clenched his fists and accused me. "In the end, these are all just excuses. It's just because you don't love me enough. You want to give up on me, give up on our relationship." Liam repeated, word by word, with red eyes, "Nicola, you don't love me enough. 7 years of chasing, 7 years of taking the initiative. In the end, I got the blame of not loving enough." I retorted to Liam, "What about you? Have you made any changes because of loving me?" I knew about his stubbornness, his sensitivity, and his insecurity, so I always tried to maintain our relationship carefully. I never dared to say break up out of anger, because I knew that once I said this, with Liam's pride, he definitely wouldn't lower his head, and then we would be completely over, but he could say it recklessly because I would always give in. I always tried to be a patient lover who couldn't be driven away, but this kind of love was too tiring. I took 100 steps towards Liam, but he thought it was embarrassing to even look back, so in the end, my love would also be worn out, bearing the blame of not loving enough. I was no longer willing to persist. The two of us ended up being bruised all over. The person who loves you the most knows exactly what words can hurt you, so I counter-attacked Liam, word by word. Liam, no one can stand you, no one will love you. You don't deserve to be loved by others. After the trip, I applied for a transfer in the institute and was transferred to a research institute in Shenzhen. The equipment there was more advanced and could provide me with the best development opportunities. When I was leaving, Sarah came over hesitantly. Nicola, I'm sorry. I really just happened to meet teacher Liam last time. He was in a bad mood during that time, so he went to the seaside to relax. I glanced at her and then lowered my head. You don't need to apologize to me. Liam should be the one to apologize to you. The young girl was so young that she didn't even realize how obvious the admiration in her eyes was. In fact, Liam getting close to her was also somewhat intentional. Liam was a person with a cleanliness fetish, including in relationships. I had never doubted his loyalty and exclusivity. I knew he wanted to make me jealous and force me to look for him. This was a method he dared to use. During previous Cold Wars, I also tried to make him jealous. I was full of anticipation that this would make him feel a sense of crisis and stop getting angry with me, but it didn't work. Liam threw all my things out of the door, completely ignored me, and even asked his friends around him to block me. That's when I realized that this method didn't work on him. If I took a step back, he would take 100 steps back. Between us, one side had to stubbornly cling on to maintain the relationship, and that person was always me. After coming to Shenzhen, I made some new friends. During holidays, we would make appointments to go bungee jumping and skiing. I couldn't remember how long it had been since I last played such extreme sports. I used to be optimistic and confident, always an active participant in various school activities. Later, Liam hid my passport and ID card. He frowned and said unhappily, Nicola, can't you stop running around like a monkey? My friends persuaded me. You know him, right? He means the opposite of what he says. He's clearly worried about your safety and afraid that you'll get into trouble. You know, these extreme sports are always prone to accidents. He wouldn't care if he didn't love you. I was persuaded. From then on, I quit all the groups and gave up all extreme sports. But now, as I was skiing, feeling the gentle breeze and watching the sunset, my friends were screaming and praising me. Nicola, you're amazing. This is professional level. You could even be an athlete. Everyone huddled together, chatting and joking merrily, even if there was a little unhappiness. After a meal, we would get together again, chatting and laughing. No matter who it was, they would directly say what they wanted to do. It had been so long since I heard praises and felt so relaxed. I was also infected by this atmosphere. I smiled and exhaled the pent-up frustration in my heart. I never thought I would meet Liam again. He was alone at the entrance of the community. I didn't know how long he had been standing there, and his face was a bit pale from the cold. As soon as he saw me, his eyes lit up. He quickly walked towards me and then slowly stopped. He saw the snowboard on my back and immediately became unhappy. I've told you so many times not to go skiing. Do you know how many people become disabled due to accidents every year? Do you also want to be in a wheelchair and be taken care of like a useless person every day? Do you just mess around when I'm not around to watch you? He snatched my snowboard and threw it hard on the ground. The snowboard cracked, and passers-by around all cast surprised glances. Perhaps Liam's behavior was too terrifying. A kind-hearted passer-by came over, looking at him warily, and said, "Don't be afraid, girl, stand behind me. I'm a veteran, and I'll protect you." I don't know which word irritated Liam. He suddenly roared, "Mind your own business. Who the hell are you? What are you crazy about? Do you even deserve to protect her?" The two were almost about to fight and were pulled apart by the onlooking crowd. I shook my head apologetically at the man. "Thank you. I'd better handle this myself." I picked up my phone, looked at Liam, and said calmly, "I've already called the police." "Liam, it's you who's going crazy." In the police station, Liam and I sat face to face, neither of us speaking first. The police officer smiled and persuaded. Young couple having a fight, it's just a family matter, what's the point of reporting it? Go home and sort it out. Then he looked at Liam. You should also coax your girlfriend more. What's the need to argue with a girl? I interrupted the police officer's words. We're not a couple, and it's not a family matter. I'm reporting as an ordinary citizen, accusing him of damaging personal property. I didn't understand why all conflicts and harm, once labeled as a relationship between a boyfriend and a girlfriend, would be classified as a family matter. As long as the other person was a husband or a boyfriend, then the harm was no longer considered harm, and it could be minimized or even ignored. When conflicts occurred between strangers, they could be reported and judged. Why could boyfriends, girlfriends, and couples get a reduced punishment and just be mediated? The police officer's face turned awkward because of my words. Finally, he became expressionless, put away his joking manner, and started following the procedures meticulously. Liam paid the fine, compensated for my economic losses, and finally wrote a guarantee. Before walking out of the police station, he turned back to shake hands with the police officer. Sorry for the trouble, I watched coldly. Liam was just like this. He wasn't incapable of apologizing. He was always polite in front of outsiders, but when it came to me, it was so hard for him to lower his head. The person closest to him was the one he hurt the most. I walked forward quickly, but Liam didn't give up and chased after me closely. Nicola, can we talk? I didn't stop walking. We can talk, but after this, don't show up in front of me again. Can you do that? Liam paused for a moment and then said yes. We found a nearby store. After entering, I ordered an iced Americano. Liam instinctively stopped me. It's winter, and you're still drinking something cold. Waiter, change it to a hot latte. I looked at him coldly, and Liam froze. He pursed his lips and didn't say anything more. After sitting down, I got straight to the point. So, what do you want to talk about? Liam stiffened his body and tried to make his expression gentle. I've thought a lot after I went back. You're right. The problem between us is the lack of honesty. I haven't made any mistakes in principle. I just don't know how to communicate, but I can change all of this. He looked at me cautiously. Nicola, I'll try my best to change. Don't break up, okay? I had been waiting for these words for 7 years. Finally, Liam said them, but it was too late. I said, no. Liam's eyes suddenly became panicked, as if he had thought of something. He hurriedly rolled up his sleeve to show me the scar on his arm. The scar on his arm was the evidence that he gave up his dream for me. It was Liam's greatest reliance and his biggest leverage. Every time he showed it, I would be speechless and start to give in. But this time, I didn't move. After a long time, I said softly, Liam, actually, even without this scar, you couldn't become a pilot, right? I found out some time ago that Liam's father had been in prison and had a criminal record. Whether there was this scar or not, Liam couldn't pass the political review, but he had always hidden this from me. Do you know, it's very tiring to bear someone else's dream. Because of me, Liam couldn't become a pilot, and thus he stood on the moral high ground. Everyone demanded that I tolerate and accommodate him, and because of my guilt, I had been enduring all his bad temper. Whenever I doubted our relationship, someone would bring up this matter to accuse me. He gave up his dream for you, and you still say he doesn't love you. Nicola, don't be too unreasonable. Over time, even I believed in Liam's love. Liam said anxiously, you know, my family situation is not good. My parents don't love me. You're my first love. I've never loved anyone before, and I don't know how to love either. Then why don't you learn? My emotions got a bit out of control, and my voice was choked with sobs. So I deserve to be deceived by you and be played around, Liam. Do you deceive me because you think I'm stupid? Liam quickly retorted. No. He raised his head, and I could almost see tears welling up in his eyes. He said in a low voice, it's because of my inferiority. Because of inferiority, he was sensitive. Because of inferiority, he was rude. And because of the lack of love, he didn't know how to love. So he was always worried about losing me and repeatedly tested me. He was afraid that I would leave him. So he used my guilt to tie me tightly by his side. But these are all excuses. Why is being mean considered a shortcoming? But being stubborn isn't. Their harm to others is the same. Just because you lack love doesn't mean you can hurt others. Stop making excuses for yourself. You're selfish and cold-hearted, so you know it clearly but are unwilling to change. I returned Liam's words to him exactly as he had said them. Liam, it's you who doesn't love me enough. After that day, I really didn't see Liam again. He seemed to have kept his promise and no longer showed up in front of me. I went about my work as usual. In my free time, I participated in various competitions. During a marathon, I was maliciously knocked down by someone, and I reported it to the referee, who disqualified that person from the competition. That person held a grudge. On my way home from work, he deliberately drove a motorcycle to hit me, trying to teach me a lesson. I had already noticed something was wrong when I was being followed by that motorcycle, but it was still a step too late, and I couldn't shake him off. 1 second before being hit, I was violently pulled away. A muffled groan sounded, and Liam, whom I hadn't seen for a long time, suddenly appeared. He protected me behind him, but his arm was broken in the collision, seemingly noticing that I was looking at him. Liam turned his face. His forehead was covered with fine cold sweat due to the pain. He tried his best to raise the corners of his mouth to comfort me. "Don't be afraid." In the hospital, the doctor was treating Liam, and I stood aside. When everyone had left, I said, "I've already called the police. The police will contact you later, and you'll get compensation for medical expenses and other losses." I put down the fruit basket and was about to leave. Liam stopped me. "What about you?" he stammered. "I saved you. Don't you have anything else to say?" I paused, and my voice turned cold. "Are you trying to blackmail me with your kindness again? What is it this time? Do you want me to get back together with you?" Liam's face instantly turned pale, and he said anxiously, "Nicola, that's not what I mean. I just want to talk to you more." I let out a breath and relaxed a bit. "That's good." My relaxation seemed to sting Liam. He looked at me for a long time and said in a bitter tone, "Have I become such an image in your heart now, even when I save you? You think I'm acting?" I didn't say anything, but my silence gave Liam the answer. "Everything that happens leaves a mark." Liam had deceived me before. On the surface, everything seemed fine, but after that, whenever he did something similar, I dared not believe him anymore. I would doubt, hesitate, and waver. Once there was a crack in the relationship, it could never go back to the way it was. Once trust collapsed, it was like spilled water that couldn't be retrieved. A noisy commotion came from outside the corridor, but the ward was very quiet, as if they were in two different worlds. Liam took a deep breath. "Nicola, I came this time just to say goodbye to you." Actually, I could vaguely sense that there was something wrong with my personality, but I couldn't bring myself to care or take it seriously. "I'll be transferred to work in the United States next month. There, I'll see a psychologist, seriously receive treatment, and try to correct my shortcomings." Liam's fingers were trembling. He tried hard to control it, but after several attempts, he failed. He looked at me, with anticipation in his eyes, just like a child, showing stubbornness. "Nicola, if I really get better and learn how to love someone correctly, will you give me another chance?" It was hard for me to describe my feelings at the moment. I had once firmly believed that two people who liked each other would never drift apart. I had once fantasized about a long-lasting relationship with Liam. There was no betrayal, no infidelity, and no third-party interference between us, but in the end, we still separated. It turned out that love could also be consumed. On this ordinary day, Liam asked me if I was still willing to give him a chance. I heard myself say, "No, let it go. Mutual pursuit is the most difficult thing in the world." When I was chasing Liam, he never looked back, and when he came towards me, I had already had enough of disappointment and left. The love in the past was real, but not loving anymore was also real, so just let it go and end it. Outside the hospital, I met Liam's friends who came to visit him. When they saw me, they all looked a bit awkward. I nodded indifferently and was about to leave, but they stopped me. The leader hesitated for a few times and then came up. "Nicola, why did you delete all of our contact information?" I turned my head. "I've broken up with Liam." That person was unconvinced. "You broke up with him, but we can still be friends, right?" Others also gathered around, chattering and complaining, with a bit of grievance. After seeing that I didn't say anything for a long time, everyone quieted down. I spoke, my voice very calm. "Friends. Do you really consider me a friend? Then why do you always only speak well of Liam?" That person was stunned for a moment and then smiled awkwardly. "That's for your reconciliation. Do you think we should persuade you to break up?" These people were Liam's friends, and they had their own biases. Everyone spoke for Liam and made excuses for him. My grievances were invisible and insignificant, so when they said we were friends, I just found it ridiculous. There's no need to contact each other anymore. It's not necessary. After saying that, I didn't want to pay attention to them anymore and turned to leave. The next time I heard about Liam was a year later. I was on a business trip to the United States and happened to meet him on the street. He was alone, staring blankly at a stray cat on the street. "Nicola, how is Pudding?" Ever since I took Pudding away, for some reason, it changed its previous cold attitude and became close to me. The scars on my arm that were scratched by it gradually fell off and recovered over time. "It's doing well. It's gotten a bit fatter. That's good." After a few words, there was no more topic between us. I looked at my watch and didn't want to waste any more time here. "Mr. G, I have something to do, so I'll leave first." After nodding politely, I picked up my bag and was about to leave. Liam stopped me. He tugged at the corners of his mouth, trying to show a smile. "Nicola, what do you think of me now?" He even did a little spin, stepping back to let me observe. I thought for a while. "You seem good too." The former Liam had a cold face towards everyone. Behind his surface politeness was real aloofness. But just now, when he passed by a booth, he naturally helped pick up the fallen oranges. When someone bumped into him, he also said gently that it was okay, unlike before when he would look disgusted. It seemed that he had become more human-like. "I didn't expect that psychological treatment really worked," Liam stammered. "So I've changed for the better now. I still love you. Can you?" "Then I wish Mr. G to become even better and meet someone better." I interrupted him. Liam's face instantly turned pale, but I had already walked away towards the setting sun. The afterglow of the sunset spilled over the earth. A warm light fell on everyone. I no longer had to guess Liam's hidden thoughts. He had become bold and brave, without hesitation. He was willing to straightforwardly express his love and his persistence, but no one will always stay in the same place, waiting. Liam would get better, but I would become even better. A withered tree can sprout new buds. After the sunset, there will be a new sun rising tomorrow. It was a long time later that I understood. Taking the initiative is a kind of talent, a very rare talent. I will move towards a better future and have a better life.